Apart from maybe the Game Boy Color, there's nothing that makes me more nostalgic than the Super Nintendo. So I believe it's time that we finally did an unboxing video for one of the greatest consoles of all time. Before we get started though, I'd just like to show you something I've been working on recently. And that is, after years of having an interest in it, I've finally started painting Lord of the Rings miniature figurines. After years of thinking I wasn't quite good enough to paint them, I ordered these Dungeons and Dragons figurines that you can see here, and to be honest, they look terrible, so I figured if they could get away with it, then so could I. And I actually feel like I've done not too bad a job of it, so I plan on doing a video on it in the not too distant future. Anyway, moving on to the reason you probably clicked on this video, and that is the Super Nintendo. So over the last 5 years, I've been collecting quite a few SNES games, but I am really strict and really concise in what it is I actually collect. The number one rule being, it's obviously got to be a game that I've enjoyed or, that I might show an interest in. Number two, that I only collect them in their boxes. And number three, they've got to be in great condition. Being that The Elder Scrolls Skyrim is one of my favourite games and I do feature it a lot on this channel, it'd be rude not to include it in this video. So Skyrim was on the Super Nintendo? Absolutely not. But when it came out on the Nintendo Switch, a really nice guy approached me on my Instagram page and offered to make me a custom box, which was to kind of represent a SNES version of this game. And to be honest, he came up with this absolute masterpiece. I think it's one of my favourite things in my collection, even though it's completely worthless, but I think it's really cool. So the purpose of this video is mainly to focus on the console, and not so much the games, mainly because I've got a few more coming in the post, and I'd like to do another video on it when I feel like my collection's a little bit more complete. So the original SNES came out in the early 90s, but in 2017 Nintendo released the Super Nintendo Mini. And a couple of years prior, the Nintendo Mini. This little replica came with 30 games built in and one controller. I think the problem with this console was that the cables for the controller were quite short and they charged you extra if you wanted a second controller. And as I said, in 2017 they came out with the Super Nintendo Mini, and this came with 20 games plus an extra game that wasn't actually released in the original SNES, and that was Star Fox 2. Star Fox 1 was one of my favourite games in this console, and they cancelled the production of the second one, simply because it came too late in the console's lifespan. And the only issue we have now is that I didn't really think that Star Fox 2 was that great a game on this, but it was still a really nice addition to add. So of course these controllers are way too small for my hands now, but when I was a kid they fit them perfectly. And I really liked the look of them when I was a kid, mainly because the buttons look like Smarties, and I like to eat food quite a lot, so yeah. Here you get an idea of how small the actual mini console is, and I'll compare it with the original console towards the end of the video. And here we have it, my original Super Nintendo Entertainment System still in its box. So this will look a little bit different to the American version because this is the PAL version, which to be honest I kinda prefer, but maybe that's just my nostalgia speaking. And apart from some wear and tear down the side here, this box is in excellent condition. I'm really happy to have this. On the back we have the Super Mario All-Stars logo, and a description boasting the power of the console at the time. And to the right here we have some screenshots of Super Mario All-Stars gameplay. Right, so let's get this open, see what's inside. And there we have it in all its glory. So first up, still got the original instruction manual. And next up we have the beautiful SNES controller, and you'll notice this is very similar, if not identical, to the mini SNES controller. Because here's the two of them side by side, and it's pretty much impossible to tell which one's the mini SNES and which one's the original. And of course this shouldn't really be here, but this is the capture card I use for this console. And the Super Mario All-Stars game cart itself. And lastly we have the console. So these original SNESs tend to discolour after time, usually caused by sunlight, but I'm really proud to say that I've managed to keep this in its original colour. And lastly, as promised, we've got the side by side of the two consoles. To the left, we've clearly got the original SNES, and to the right, we've got the mini SNES. And it's here you'll realise the sheer difference in size between these two consoles. So thank you very much for watching, and thanks to everyone who regularly interacts with my videos. I'm just about to hit that 500 sub mark, and I think for that I'll maybe make a video just featuring everyone who often comments on my stuff and gives me good feedback, just to show my appreciation. Until next time, see ya.